And it's a big night ahead for Florida Governor and Republican presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis. He is set for a showdown against former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, with polls showing the two vying for second in the Iowa caucuses behind former President Trump. And Ron DeSantis campaign manager James Altmeyer joins me now from Miami. James, thanks for coming on. Governor DeSantis has said that Nikki Haley's not a threat to him in Iowa, but his supportive super PAC is spending millions attacking her in Iowa. So what do you think? Is that a waste of their money? Why do that?
Listen, I think it's important to tell the voters in Iowa who these two candidates are. And Ron DeSantis, as we've all come to know, is a fighter. He fights for what's right. He fights for his vision for the future of this country, a vision that will make it easier for people to afford their mortgages, to put gas in their cars. But unlike everybody else on the stage, he has a record to prove that he doesn't just fight, he wins. He wins big time and time again. And there are quite a few big differences between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. One candidate, Governor Haley, she gave away much of her state to China. She gave away land near military bases and provided incentives. Where Ron DeSantis, he did the exact opposite. He made it illegal for any entity with China ties to buy land in the state of Florida. He cut China's involvement in the higher education system and eliminated it entirely. So it's important to get the record out to people. In Iowa, we're seeing lines, wrapping around buildings as people come out to meet the governor, and we were delighted to get the endorsement from Governor Kim Reynolds, who's very, very popular there, and who shares the values and vision as Ron DeSantis.
James, during the second GOP presidential debate, Governor DeSantis said he would support a federal 15-week abortion ban. Looking at yesterday's results in Ohio, that position appears to be out of step with what some voters want, even in red-leaning states like Ohio. So do you think DeSantis needs to adjust his position on that?
Well, listen, Ron DeSantis is unapologetically a pro-life leader. He's going to sign pro-life legislation. But he recognizes in the wake of the Dobbs decision that states are going to come down differently. And we as conservatives need to do a better job of messaging and working on the issues. The idea that Congress right now, as dysfunctional as it is going to send over some bill like that is just not realistic. I think that's an extreme hypothetical. But at the end of the day, Ron DeSantis is a father of three. He's talked about, how emotional it is to hear that heartbeat of your child for the first time. And that's why he did sign a heartbeat bill in Florida, just as leaders have done in Iowa, Georgia, and Ohio. So as states come out differently, we'll continue to work on these issues. But at the end of the day, we can't let extreme hypotheticals be shoved down our throat and distract from all the other important issues that are at hand. And again, Americans are suffering. Today, you've got to make 6 figures to be able to buy your first home. And that's not the world we live in. We've got to restore the American dream. And Ron DeSantis has proven time again, he doesn't just fight, but he wins. And ultimately, in light of the sweeping losses for Republicans last night, we need a proven winner. Last night was all too eerily similar to election night from last year, when that red wave we were all told about, it didn't happen.
No,
except
it didn't.
In one place. In Florida. It happened in Florida. Ron DeSantis had a sweeping 20-point win, and he brought a legislature with him to turn Florida deep red, to then deliver all the results on the economy, on unlawful immigration.
And James, I want to ask you about Florida.
Tax relief.
James, sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I just have limited time. But I wanted to ask you about this new poll by the University of North Florida's Public Opinion Research Lab. It shows former President Trump beating Governor DeSantis in a hypothetical matchup in Florida. 59% say they would vote for Trump, compared to just 29% for DeSantis, and 12% said they didn't know or they refused to answer. What's your reaction to those numbers in DeSantis' home state?
Again, polls don't elect presidents. People do. One thing is clear. Over 70% of the party is looking at options right now. They have not made up their mind. And at the end of the day, even with some of these polls, Ron DeSantis remains the second-place favorite as compared to all the other candidates. He's the only individual that can tie the party together. So we're going to keep fighting. We're, again, going to keep talking to the voters, because that's who actually decides the outcome. And we're going to continue to introduce them to this beautiful family and the governor's vision for our country, a vision that will bring back winning again, which is what we have to do.
All right, DeSantis campaign manager James Altmeyer. We appreciate your time today, James. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.